What's your thoughts on alcohol actually? Because I saw sometimes you do drink a little
Yeah.
bit sometimes. You're not like super strict, like I never drink.
Yeah.
So what's your thoughts on that, on like moderation? Because you drink moderately, like you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. I drink moderately, and well, I like to think of it in terms of energy. So there's no question that drinking is a low energetic activity. Like you're drinking a depressant, so it can lower your energy. So if you're already low, if you already have low energy, then drinking is not a great idea. Some people say don't drink to feel good, drink to feel better. I don't know about that,
Mm.
but I certainly try not to drink when I'm down, or in a low energetic state. I like to celebrate. Not that alcohol is a way to celebrate, but I like to I like to enjoy, and sometimes a reward for myself for hard work, or just even just not drinking for a while. That taste, man, of a beer, a cold beer, or a nice whiskey with a cigar.
Yeah, I saw you
To
in Helsinki. You took a beer with
Yeah,
at the
with
airport.
my sandwich. Like I
Yeah.
might eat. So he's referring to a really great ham and cheese sandwich, which sounds ridiculous, in the airport of Helsinki, and you literally only get it at one specific location in the Helsinki airport. I might fly through the Helsinki airport 5 times a year. Every time I go, I get a ham and cheese sandwich. But here's the thing: I don't ever eat ham and cheese sandwiches anywhere ever. So that's the way I look at alcohol, kind of like I'm doing it so moderately that it's not really lowering my energetic state. It's not interfering with anything that's important. It's actually adding something to my life experience. And I don't have many vices, man. Like I'm super dialed in. I'm always in a caloric deficit. I stay around 8, 9, 10% body fat. I don't eat out. I don't eat unhealthy. Like I don't look at porn. I don't have any
Yeah.
vices, man. So cigars and an occasional alcoholic drink is fine with me at this point. I'm 43 years old, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
enjoy some of those things.
Well, what's good is you use alcohol as kind of a reward mechanism, not as a way to cope with a life you don't want. You're already living a good life, and you're using alcohol to enhance it sometimes, to have an experience, but not
Yeah.
to cope,
Now,
not as a way to cope.
I love that you said that though, because I can fall into that. I'm going through a tough split. I'm going through a separation leading to a divorce with my wife. Very, very difficult situation, and there have been times where I've fallen into leaning on alcohol instead of sitting with the feelings, like allowing myself to experience what I need to learn. And it's easy to fall into that trap of alcohol. So I am certainly susceptible to the avoidance, to the distraction, to the sedation that is readily available with alcohol. Because look, it works. Alcohol will give you that relief.
Yeah, it will numb you to your problems.
That's right, man. It'll give you that. So I am susceptible to that. So during the season, I am a bit more, I would say, intentional with alcohol. Like I'm really paying attention to it. So I think more than anything, man, it's about self-awareness. Like you just got to know yourself and know your weaknesses, and understand that alcohol can and will be a problem if you misuse it. It just will. Even if you're not calling yourself an alcoholic, it can be a problem without it being a problem, right? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Some people say it's even healthy. Some, like when you take like a shot of tequila, it cleanses you or something. Some people believe
Good,
that.
really good tequila. There are probiotics
Yeah.
in it. People say that about wine also, that it's good for cardiovascular health. But that's all things moderation. That's like one glass, maybe two.
Yeah.
Tim Ferriss, I remember, got famous actually by saying he's 2 glasses a night. Like he gives himself permission to drink 2 glasses of red wine per night. The problem is for most people, they just don't know how to discipline themselves to only do 2. So
True.
2 becomes 2.5, then 3, and then a bottle.
Yeah.
And then maybe you do that 2 or 3 times a week or whatever, and it gets too much. But the health implications are real. Like, even though I'm really fit externally, in great shape, I just found out that I have high blood pressure. And I have to manage that. I won't get on medication. I'll adjust some things, like red meat, coffee, limiting coffee. But that's the thing. Alcohol also impacts that internal health. So you might look good on the outside, but some stuff might not be going right on the inside. And alcohol certainly impacts that, among other things, right? Anything that stresses you out, too much coffee, cigarettes, cigars. I'm a cigar guy, not a cigarette guy, but
Yeah.
that's why I always recommend people do blood work. Like I do that for all my clients. They get blood work consistently. Not only because it gives them good data, but also because most men just avoid that shit. They don't want to. They don't want to know the truth, even if they get symptoms. You know, blood in their stool, chest pain. Most guys are like, I'd rather not know, and it's like that's ridiculous.
How expensive is it to do blood work?
It's just cheap, man. Like if you have any type of insurance wherever you're located.
Like in Estonia, have you done blood work?
Yeah, oh yeah.
So,
yeah.
So how much is it without insurance? Just
like 30 euros, but
it's fine.
But
okay,
but
it's easy.
Yeah, it's like 30 euros to get a decent panel. You might not get testosterone with that basic panel, but you certainly know your triglycerides, cholesterol. You'll know some of those baseline numbers that are important. Insulin.
Yeah, it's been a while. I haven't done that since the summer. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, well, the older you get, once you get my age, 40 plus, I'm 43, just turned 43, that stuff becomes more and more important.
Yeah.
But it's important even at a young age, man. Like, I've seen guys your age, late 20s, right? Late 20s that have low T levels, and that impacts a lot of things. So you just never know. It's worth checking out. It's cheap. Go do it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm lucky. Every time I go to Tunisia, my grandmother is actually kind of a nurse, or not a nurse, but she has like a lab where
really?
she always takes my blood and then she tests it on the lab every summer, every time I go, and she tests my blood and she gives me also my levels of testosterone, etc.
Oh, she gets you.
Yeah, and every time
nice.
she's worried because I eat like 5 eggs in the morning, 4 or 5 eggs, and she's like, "You're crazy. Your cholesterol is gonna be so high, blah blah blah." And yeah, I'm conflicted with eggs, man. What do you think about eggs? Like, I know a lot of people, they eat like 10 eggs in the morning. Some people are crazy like that, or I don't know. Maybe it's good. I mean, to eat that many eggs. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think I'm a macros guy, so I believe in hitting your macros. So macros, proteins, fats, and carbs.
Yeah.
So however you get your protein is the choice that we're really talking about. So for me personally, I'm not an egg guy. About like 6 years ago, I don't know what it was, I get nauseous whenever I eat eggs. I used to love eggs. I used to eat a lot of eggs, but now I just eat chicken breast. I don't eat the actual eggs. I eat the chicken breast. So that's kind of my stance, a personal preference, but I think eggs are fine. But, you know, typically depending on what your goal is, like, let's say, for example, that you want to lose weight and get leaner and see your abs. Eggs are not a great choice because they're higher in fat. Obviously, the cholesterol can become a thing, but there's just much better choices if you're trying to lose weight, in my opinion. Like, you might as well just eat the chicken breast, if you ask me.
But in the morning, eggs is a classic, and chicken breast for breakfast.
Well, I don't eat breakfast either,
okay.
and I actually encourage everybody to reconsider breakfast being the most important meal of the day. I think that extending your fast in the morning to have your first meal at least around lunch is a good way of optimizing for energy, for clarity. But look,
that's what I do actually. That's what I did now.
Yeah.
But like for a first meal, you recommend straight like chicken breast or steak.
Again, it really depends on the goal. Like looking at you, you're already relatively lean. Like you're strong. You have a good physique. Like I don't know if your goal is to get super ripped. So making protein choices that are a little higher in fat might not be a bad move.
I want to get bigger. Yeah.
You want to get bigger. Yeah. So, like depends on what type of size you want to put on. Some guys like to do more of a clean bulk phase, meaning they still hit the same macro percentages, like 40% protein, 40% carb, 20% fat. They just increase the calories. So at a caloric deficit, let's say you're at 1,800 calories, 40, 40, 20. If you want to do a clean bulk, you could just increase from 1,800 calories up to, let's say, 3,200 calories, but you still keep the 40, 40, 20. So it's more of a clean bulk. Some guys, when they add size, let's say in the winter or the winter months, they're adding size because they're
super fat.
They get fat because they make typically poor protein choices. It's super high in fat.
Peanut butter.
That's a fox right there. You
Where?
should get that on your video. That's a fox right in the middle of the city. You don't see that very often. That's actually pretty cool.
Where do you see a fox?
Right there. Look at him. He's about to cross right in front of us.
Shit.
Look at this.
Crazy.
Yeah. Little fox. Pretty neat. You don't see that often.
Wow.
But there you go. Maybe it's an omen.
Yeah. An omen.
Yeah. But so I like teaching guys. Most of the guys that I meet they're already kind of lean. They're in the gym, pretty consistent, but they want to like be ripped, right? And they underestimate how much fat they actually have to lose. So normally eggs are off the menu for most guys that I work with, until they kind of get their physique where they want it to be, and then once they start to reverse out, they can get away with a little bit more fat. But most guys are not hitting their protein number. You know, like you eat a good amount of eggs, maybe you're hitting your protein number. I don't know what your goal is, but
yeah, I think I need to eat more, definitely. I mean, I eat pretty well, but I could definitely eat more. I follow some guys who are really into, you know, fitness and stuff. And when I see the amount of steaks they eat, of like protein they get, I'm definitely not, I don't eat as much steak or whatever as they do.
yeah, are they doing like the animal diet, or are they doing more of a keto diet?
Mainly eggs, avocado, and steak.
Yeah,
like
they're
ribeye.
definitely doing like an animal,
And I like
high
that.
fat, high protein, low carb.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's like same with macro. So the macros there might be 60, 20, 20, right? Or zero. Maybe they're doing full keto. Where they're doing full keto.
I don't think it's here, man. No, actually, it's
It's on
you
the
need to
other
go. Yeah, you need to go.
I've
straight.
been here before, actually. Actually, I can flip around. Maybe this way. I did a podcast here before with actually, I can go this way. Yeah, those guys are probably doing that.
Yeah.
I tried keto for a while, but I like carbs, man. Like I like rice. I like
Yeah, me too. I eat
I like
rice,
potatoes. I like all that.
bread. Yeah. Especially sweet potatoes.
Yeah, sweet potatoes are great, man.
Yeah, it's actually just here.
Yes, sir. I think this is exactly where I parked the last time I was here. Okay, let's
Cool.
go. We're gonna
Yeah,
do
let's
this.
go.